Okay, good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, February 19th at 6 p.m. This is a meeting of the Katuitt Fire District Prudential Committee. I would ask that all those who are able to please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call Mark Lynch here.
John Havel here.
Frank Perone here.
Ryan Willett here. Seth Burdick was unable to join us this evening, so we're proceeding without him. The purpose for this meeting is, of course, to hear the presentations from our architect and landscape architect on the Katuitt School demolition. There will be substantial opportunity for public comment after that presentation, but we also have public comment available at this point in the meeting as well. Does anyone here in the Freedom Hall have public comment? Seeing, oops, I do see someone.
Sure, is there time for all business later, or is this time to talk about your neighborhood?
Would you like to talk? Can you go to the microphone? Mark Robinson is speaking.
Robinson, Water Commissioner, with Fire District.
Mark, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Does this work now?
We can hear you, John. Yes. This is Carol.
Okay. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Paul, I think Paul is on mute.
Yeah, he's muted.
Paul, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yay, it is now 6:08. We are back online. Mr. Robinson was rudely interrupted. Please proceed.
If I can find my train of thought again. So Mark Robinson, the chair of the Board of Water Commissioners here in Katuitt, 25 Todd Way. And as I started to mention, it's been brought to our attention by the water department staff that for the third year in a row, the W-2s issued by the payroll service have not been received, and the ones that have previously been received have been wrong. It's supposed to have to be amended. We thought that the Prudential Committee and the Treasurer were going to work to fix this, and in fact, we recommend a new payroll service. I run a small nonprofit company. I deal with payroll services. I fire them. I fire them after make one mistake, they get a pass. They make two mistakes, I fire them. There's lots of payroll companies out there that can handle this small amount of staff here at the Katuitt Fire District, and I can't understand why this keeps happening, why the Prudential Committee doesn't do something about it. It's the most important assets we have here at the district. On our pipes in the ground or our tanks in the sky, they're the people who work for the district. Those are our most valuable assets. We have a hard time recruiting junior operators. The ones that we get.
Right. Great signal from where? Here?
Yeah, you guys again.
Welcome back.
Does anyone have on the Zoom call have public comment at this point? If not, I would like to proceed to the presentation. Do we see any hands raised? If not, I'd like to introduce Paul D. Paul, I'm gonna just call you Paul D because I can't pronounce your last name. Apologies. Just quickly where we are here, our goal is to have the building demolished and the spring planting done in the spring planting season. And the good news is we are currently on track and on budget, both those goals. Tonight, Icon Architecture and Tigan Bond, our architect and landscape architects, are going to present what are called 50% construction drawings relating to the landscape design, which, as it suggests, are not final drawings. They're preliminary and maybe amended, tweaked, added to. But we wanted to give the public input at this point. With that, I will turn it over to Paul. If we have any problems again with the Zoom, we will pause and reconfigure. But Paul, please go ahead.
Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So thanks, Mark. I'm Paul DiGiandomenico, Senior Project Manager with Icon Architecture. Thank you for having us this evening. I'm here tonight with our consultants from Ty and Bond. I'll let Eric and Joe introduce themselves in a moment. Icon and Ty and Bond have a history of collaboration on municipal building projects, bringing our expertise in programming, site planning, design, and technical documentation. Early last year, we collaborated on the elementary school feasibility study that studied various development options for this site. As a result of this study, the village voted in favor of the demolition and site restoration option. The demolition of the building structure is fairly straightforward, but what we want to talk about tonight is the restoration of the site and returning it to nature. So with that, I'll hand this over to Eric and Joe from Ty and Bond.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Just introduce myself. My name is Eric Doremus. I'm a civil engineer here at Ty and Bond, helping with the site restoration plans here. And with me, I have Joe Ficcicello, who is our landscape architect, who's going to run us through what we're looking at for restoring the site back to nature.
Good evening. As Eric said, I'm Joe Ficcicello. I am a landscape architect at Halverson Ty and Bond. So Halverson's kind of a landscape architect studio within Ty and Bond. And we are the landscape architect consultant on the team working.
Sorry, can we pause this for just a moment? The audio is terrible for those of us who are listening. Would it be possible to split screen so that part of what we see is their design and part of what we see is the person speaking? It would make it easier for us to hear, and the closed caption helps. Or else maybe the person, we can see their face while they're speaking, and then the pictures when we need to look at them.
Is anyone else having this problem? Can you all hear? You're having problems hearing?
Last speaker was a little difficult. With that, it was fine.
Could we bring the audience closer to the speaker?
Sure.
Okay.
And if we could ask Joe to please speak up and or turn up your volume. I'm happy with people coming closer. We can hear perfectly up here.
Right.
Almost, this is the speaker.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say,
Is this better? No.
Here we go.
Okay, Joe, let's continue on if you would.
Sure. So what we have tonight we've got 4 slides that we're going to run through, and essentially what this series of slides show are kind of what we're thinking for that restoration from a planting perspective. So once the building is down and all material that needs to be removed is removed, then sort of come in with some dirt that's suitable for planting. And essentially, if we're starting off at Old Oyster, the entry drives that were off of Old Oyster, we're going to be removing, except for a portion of one of them so that there's access to the existing fire hydrant there. But those will go away and get reseeded, and some trees will be placed in there. And then as you kind of come into where the building was, the idea is to place an open kind of lawn or kind of like seed mix fescue area that will start to help the site kind of heal. And then at the edges, where, to sort of feather in the successional planting that we hope happens over the next kind of decade or so. We'll introduce some understory woody shrubs and some native tree planting there. So if we go to the next slide, we're going to run through and kind of look a little closer at specifics. Thank you. So we'll look at trees as the canopy, and then the purple there are some shrubs. But first, here on the slide, in that main open area, the idea is to put a fescue, kind of a high fescue restoration mix down. Once that starts to get established, the concept is that there would be an annual or biannual mowing that would happen in that area. And then as the years progress, that mowing could sort of get tighter and tighter. Woody plants could come in at the edges and start to really sort of bring the site back to a successional woodland area. And that would be sort of over time. And so we're sort of laying the groundwork for that to start to happen. And for trees on the next slide. Oh, shrubs. Shrubs first, then trees. So all of these plants that we're going to be proposing will be native, and they'll be suitable for low maintenance once the initial, few seasons that they have to get established. So we're looking at low-growth sumac, some red-twig dogwood, and varieties that are going to offer some seasonal interest, like with the red twig or the winterberry. And then, of course, we have bayberry, which does well out in this area, as well as the sweet fern, which has kind of a nice texture to it. And again, that's going to be at the edges. Those edges up as the succession starts to take over. And then, in the middle, you'll see a kind of a purple kidney bean shape there. And the idea is that, we'll put kind of an island of planting out there just to add a little texture and kind of layer the site as you're sort of looking in at it. And give an opportunity for, habitat areas too out there. And we're also thinking of pollinators too.
Joe, I believe you've frozen.
Recognize.
Going to be introducing some trees in there as well. Again, just to kind of get into sort of.
Joe, let me interrupt. We lost you for about 3 minutes. You were just less than that, 2 minutes. You were just talking about shrubs and a kidney bean shaped area.
Okay, let's go back.
Pollinators.
And
Let's Sorry about that. You can see in the middle there, the purple kidney bean there, and the idea is to sort of add a little layering out there in the middle, and some dimension, visual dimension out there. Um, that's what I was mentioning when I was talking about the kidney bean. I don't know if you caught the at the edges, doing an understory of shrubbery there, to sort of start to help that succession along, and kind of layer against that existing woodland edge. And then we'll go to the next slide. So trees, mix of coniferous and deciduous trees, layering them so that they're kind of textural, and you can see in the center there, where we had our purple kidney bean, we're also going to have some shade trees out there to kind of create a little bit of a bouquet of interest there. And then along that, the drives that we're removing off of Old Oyster, introducing some trees in there, to sort of kind of heal that swath through there. And these trees are native. Some pine, white pine, some oak species, white, red, black, and some red maple out there for some nice fall color. I think that's all we have for planting. I think, again, the big idea is to start a framework for the site to heal, and kind of feel like one larger space out there with the adjacent property, that open space that's out there. So it really kind of knits in and feels like it was there a lot longer than it has been. That's all I got.
Now, Joe, as I understand it, these plans are still preliminary plans, and you will have site plans identifying exactly where each variety
Correct.
of tree and shrub, et cetera, will go.
Yep. Then we'll have a plant schedule with quantities and spacing and sizing. So all of that will be included, and we'll have have a specification on the seed mixes that we'll be putting out there. So yes, that will be coming.
And I also understand that the line between the town property and the village property is going to be separated by a series of boulders across that property line. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And the idea there is, to kind of group them and try to naturalize them rather than just have like a straight line of boulders there, to delineate the two sites.
And all of the plants you've identified in the shrubs are all natural, that are
Correct.
native, I should
Native.
say.
Yes. Yep. They're all native.
Okay. Any other comments from Joe, Paul, or Eric on the plans?
Joe covered it well. We're here for any questions that you may have.
Okay. Well, that's the most important part of the meeting. We will go to public comment now, relating to the presentation you've just heard. Again, consistent with two things. One is that the villagers have voted to return the site to nature, and that these are still somewhat preliminary plans. First of all, any questions about clarity? Anything that's not clear from that you need identified?
Yeah.
Patty Daly, you have a question?
Yes, thanks. Hi, good evening. I was just wondering if you'd considered, given the proximity to the drinking water well, any trees that might be in service by phytoremediation. So, I know a few species, I believe poplar, and I'm not sure which other ones, but in your current experience, is that worth looking at? Just a question.
Typically phytoremediation is for contaminated sites, right? And it's a means to sort of extract.
Guess we get to watch the video afterwards. They're recording it. Is that correct?
We are recording it.
The closed caption.
I thought that initially there was going to be a very small parking area for those who may be traveling and then just coming through the area. Is that no longer true? Or do you come in only off of Main Street? Or
What's that? Who's running the meeting right now? The host is type on, but we're logged in through the Freedom Hall Wi-Fi. This is our meeting. Correct, it's a Prudential meeting.
recreational area, correct?
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt because we've lost Zoom here at Freedom Hall on a couple of occasions. So we are not hearing the comments that are being made. If we go out again, I will shout out and we need to stop talking until we get it going again. Unfortunately, this is not satisfactory, or at least not desirable. But Paul, perhaps you can go back to the last person who had a comment and they can start again.
Yeah, I
This
think
is
that
Chris.
was Patty was the previous comment. Did you hear Patty's comment, Mark?
I heard the comment about phytoremediation and we heard the beginning of the response from Eric on that.
You want to repeat your answer, Joe? Joe had
Yeah,
a better understanding.
Phytoremediation, for those who don't know, is using plant material to extract contaminants out of soil. And the question was related more to water runoff from
I think we
parking lot.
lost him again, Joe. I'm sorry to
Yeah, we
interrupt.
lost him.
No,
Thanks for the
we're
heads
good,
up.
can hear you.
Okay, good.
Oh, they're back.
And the question was related more to runoff from a parking lot offsite and those contaminants coming onto the site. And the distance is great enough where there probably be minimal infiltration onto this site, and also grading is going to be such that the water's, we're going to try to not have the water kind of infiltrate into a
We've lost you. Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes.
All right, we had missed a question from a party wondering about the parking spot. Chris.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was just checking whether there was pedestrian access from both sides. And I understand now that there's no parking access from Old Oyster Road, but there would still be parking on the town side, near the recreation area, which would allow people to park and then walk over, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
We do have a comment.
Can't raise my hand with the little icon thing, so I'm raising it here.
Go ahead, Carol.
Carol.
Mark,
Yeah.
Mark, am I okay to speak?
Yes.
All right. My name's Carol Zace. I live at 86 Putnam Avenue. I have a couple of comments and questions. The first one is, when you say native, what is your definition of native? Is it specific native to the Cape, native to Massachusetts, native to New England? Because there are very different definitions in plant material. That's my first question.
I believe the answer is
Cape and Massachusetts.
Say that again.
Cape and Massachusetts.
Okay. My next question is, the boulders are not shown on any of the pictures that we have seen, so that's obviously a conversation you've had. What's the reason for delineating the two properties?
Do you want to take this one, Mark, or do you want that?
I think in large part the Kettleers use the town property for parking, and we want to delineate parking versus non-parking area. We don't want people parking on an area that is supposed to be returned to nature.
Okay. Then my other comment, not necessarily a question, but maybe it could be turned into a question. Are you anyone aware of the Native Land Conservancy, which was formed in 2012 and founded as the first Native American-led conservation group east of the Mississippi by a coalition of Native leaders? They have components for doing cultural easements on properties and also land care and native plant restorations. Cotuit is a very important part of the Wampanoag or Wampanoag tribe, and I think it would be really important for us to reach out to this Native Land Conservancy and get the Wampanoag tribe involved with return to nature, since they know nature way beyond anybody on this phone call. And so I would really like to, if we can't do it prior to the plantings of the grass, I would like to try and be able to bring them in for future plantings and or to possibly grant them a cultural respect easement, which has been done in places like Dennis and Eastham, I think, and other parts of Massachusetts. There's also a cottage in Cotuit that was recently donated and is part of that Native Land Conservancy. So I think it's really important that we do something with them at some point or as soon as possible. Are you guys aware of this group or of this agency, conservancy?
Diane Bond, do you want to answer that?
I'm not aware of it. It sounds like a very interesting program. Hasn't been mentioned.
All right. Other comments online? You guys, you froze again. We are going to reconnect, and then there are some comments here from Freedom Hall.
Points. So if only one person gets connected with them to get that information out there. I figured I'd say
Thanks,
it now.
Chris. I think, well, however, the people that need to hear this are not on the call right now.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay. are we are frozen again. We are retrying.
If people turn off their cameras, it might help. I think really nice about it a lot. And they're frozen. Can they still hear us?
They can,
Yeah, they think we're here.
I think. Okay, we do have a public comment here, and we're going to proceed. You can identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Jim Redden.
Mark, I
Uh,
wasn't done,
all right.
but I'll wait.
Okay, I'm Jim
okay.
Redden. Resident Cotuit. I'd first like to start complimenting the engineers, architects. They did a nice job presenting everything tonight. Appreciate that. It is the first time a lot of us have seen it. To step back, and I'm going to read my comments that I wrote before the meeting, but I also want to say, I think that one of the big issues here is the question of what is return to nature. Clearly what they did is return it to absolute nature. Most of the other meetings I've been at this committee seem to indicate we're going to talk about what does return to nature mean. So I'm more at that level rather than which plant it is. I agree we should get the right plants once we get there. But for me, what I thought the space should use was, I'd like to see a small picnic area in the space, maybe like a 20 by 30 for community use, a roof and cement picnic tables. I think it's very important to have a small parking area for daytime parking. I think that area has often been used with the parades and event setup, stuff that is very important to the community. We have we have stuff on the community green and by the library all the time. Vendors all parked down there where the parking lots are now being taken out. So I really think there should be consideration of that, and I think that's very compatible with return to nature. I also think, just from I was assuming, I'm surprised that there's not going to be an emergency road from the back of the Kettleers parking lot to Old Oyster Road. I assume that would almost be required. All those cars can't go in and out of one space but whatever, that surprised me. But I think it.
Let them show up their camera. Paul, can you hear us? Back down.
Can you hear us now?
Go.
I'm curious if there was a different method for signing in, if that's the problem, because the way I signed in was not the way I have in the past.
No, it's a system at Freedom Hall.
Okay.
It's unfortunately the system of Freedom Hall. Mr. Redden was speaking when we were last interrupted. We will ask him to proceed.
Any idea where it was?
Bike path.
Bike path.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, speaking from access of Old Oyster Road, I would hope that bike paths would at least cross from there into the Kettleers area, so people can go attend all the clinics and stuff that happen in there. So, and then, sort of corollary is any kind of bike paths or any kind of parking put in there could be gravel or any, porous solution. So, you're not putting in hardtop, you're not putting in stuff like that. And these are all, in my mind, compatible with returning to nature. So that was really the question. I thought more people might want to have more input about a few things. These are not very expensive things. They're just things that people might have been expecting as part of what I thought was going to happen. So that was my comment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any additional comment from here in Freedom Hall?
I'm Lisa Nagel, 88 Shield Road. I have heard of the Conservancy, and I know the one thing that appeals to me about that idea, that's a great idea, is they often will do maintenance. So that's an important, if we could at some later point grant an easement, if we can't do that before the planning, I think that would be a great organization to partner with. And I love the idea, yeah, kick in some money.
Agenda item. We haven't had this problem with our meetings prior to this.
It's been different problems, projector one time,
Yeah.
something the other time, but this is the first time.
But
Yeah. Is it because of so many people on it? I don't.
They're back.
They're back?
they're back.
Oh.
Hopefully you can hear us.
Yes, we can. Carol, I think you still had a couple of questions.
Well, Ms.
But I have
Nagle
to-
was in the middle of her presentation, so.
That's right. I was pretty much finished. I just wanted to support the idea of having the Conservancy get involved. And even if we can't grant the easement before the planning's done, I think that would be a really great thing to do. And working with the Wampanoag tribe, the history with Katuitt, I think it would be something really special. So I'm a big supporter of that idea. Thank you, Carol. And that's it. And I would love a new house.
Thank you.
Is there additional commentary from people here in Freedom Hall? Please.
I do, but Carol was also not finished with hers, so everybody beside her.
First, let it go for
Can you still hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Jody Calaccini, 476 Main Street. I just had two questions. First off is during the establishment phase of the plantings, how is the irrigation going to be handled? And then second question was with some of the existing trees that are on the property, they're pretty old and scraggly. Is there going to be, are they going to do pruning and trimming of some of the existing plantings there to make it more aesthetic and to avoid future problems?
Eric, is that something you can address? Who's it, Eric?
Looks like they're back.
Okay, the last part you just asked about any plans for irrigation and any plans for pruning or trimming existing trees that need such attention.
So in terms of irrigation, would need to be some temporary irrigation set up. So that could be, like sprinklers, tripods in the middle of the lawn area, and it would be up to the contractor to ensure that things are properly watered until establishment there, and then trees would have to be hand watered.
Okay, and is that part of the current plan?
Correct. Yep. And then
We lost you.
And I don't think it's just us, because I think that they're having trouble, people that are on the Zoom are having trouble too.
Here's the next, well, do you want to get into the hot seat? So at least for.
My questions are twofold about the plantings. One, as you know, we're in a level 2 drought. So I would like for you to inform us about the level of drought resistance of the plantings that you are anticipating. And secondly, my understanding is that here on these, sometimes people refer to them as the pine barrens here on the southern coast of southwestern Massachusetts. We actually are in our own microclimate. So I would request that you not just do generic native to Massachusetts, but really, really specific to this microclimate. Thank you. I might have more to say later, but want to give other people a chance.
Is there anyone else here in Freedom Hall who would like to make public comment or have any questions? Seeing none, I think Carol was at an addition. If you wanted to make. Carol, go ahead.
Thank you, Mark. Some of the questions I was going to ask about the water and stuff have been answered. So the only other question I have is that tonight is our first community opportunity to present some comments. And we understand there's a follow-up meeting in 6 days. is that enough time for you to absorb everything we are saying? And if not, or even if it is there an opportunity to have more input based on things like the gentleman who spoke before? And then the next question is, are you
Carol, back to question number 2, if you can hear us.
Can you do it? How much can we do on the chat without being live talking for that?
Probably a lot. We can do it from a notice provision.
Oh, okay.
are you back?
Yep.
We are back. You were just beginning your question number 2.
I was just questioning, the use or adding in some clover, which is really drought resistant, as part of the greenery, and it's very, easy to walk on. But I apologize that I'm not there to be able to be there in person. I really appreciate everything that has been done. And that's it on what I have to say about this particular project, but I am going to put in a little bid because we're all experiencing the problem. Is about a year ago, I did bring to the Prudential Committee a request to upgrade the audio, video, and Wi-Fi at Freedom Hall so that we could enter into the technology needs of today that would more closely resemble those over at the church that has a much higher grade level of ability to do hybrid meetings. So since there's about 20 plus people experiencing this today, I just thought I'd bring it to everybody's attention that I hope the Prudential can look into that and bring it into for the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are all more inclined than we were before this meeting began to investigate. So we're set here, I believe, in comments from Freedom Hall. Are there any, Paul, any comments that you see there from the Zoom meeting?
Yeah,
Yes.
Patty Daly.
Thank you. I wanted to agree.
We lost you.
It's like they're back.
Yep.
Okay. Am I good?
Patty. You're good.
Go ahead, Patty.
So I agree with a prior speaker who mentioned picnic tables and other potential recreational uses of the property, which is not inconsistent with back to nature. And I'm kind of disappointed, I guess, that the Prudential Committee asked for only one option to be presented tonight, and I'd love to see some more options presented that allow a little more access to that property. Thank you.
Oops, there we go.
Am I?
Early.
Well, I'm going to put you on, but I'm still in my other meeting, but I wanted to at least try and listen while, back and forth. So, hi, everybody.
Just don't get confused.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I hear maybe the Cape is expecting.
Hey.
Carol, can you mute yourself, please?
Carol, we can hear everything.
Okay, so she's muted. It's Chris Rebello. Can I speak, Mark?
Sure.
I just was in support of the native conservatory, and if that's a complicated issue, at least communicating with the tribe as our neighbors and in good faith for them being the
We lost you.
Sorry, Lisa, did you mention?
Are you back?
We are back.
Okay, so, and I do support being able to get from Old Oyster to the other side by bike or walking.
Okay, any other comments from the Zoom meeting? If not, I think, thank you all for persevering. This was far from optimal, but I am glad that we have everyone's comments and input. We have other items on the agenda, but given the difficulties we're having technically, I think it makes sense to put those off until the next meeting. And also, well, we're going to put that off to the next meeting, the other agenda items to the next meeting, which is the 24th. I think we should probably adjourn at this point and resolve our technical problems and re-up on the 24th. I think we're done with public comment.
Can we expect a response from the landscape architects at our next meeting to some of these issues, and you'll be the interface on our behalf with them? Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct.
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are in adjournment. It is 7:05. That is exactly right. Or that person.
Well, for everybody.
Thank you all. Appreciate your time.